Wub, 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 wub. The finale of how to make every NBA team not suck. And this is going to be I don't even know what the hell the division's called. It's got the Rockets, the Spurs, the Mavericks, whatever one that is, that's the one we're talking about. I have to find an NBA Talk series when I'm done with this. Well, I'll figure that out later. First up, the Houston Rockets. I actually think the Rockets should go super aggressive in this free agency. Because right now, they're in that weird position of pretty good, but not good enough to win a title. And who wants to be there? I mean, you want to win a championship in this league. You got James Harden. You have the opportunity to do that. So here's what the Rockets need to do. First off, they need to let all of their free agents walk except for Patrick Beverley. Okay, so that means Jason Terry, Josh Smith. Do not pick up Papa Nikolau's team option. And Corey Brewer's got a player option. I assume he's going to decline that because he can make more money than what he's making now. The only guy you want to re-sign is Patrick Beverley, okay? And you could probably re-sign him for no more than 6 or 7 because then it gets iffy. At that point, you're going to have about $14 million in cap space. And if they wanted to, they could get it down more by trading away maybe Monty Eunice and Capella or maybe Joey Dorsey, whatever. They could get the salary down there. The Rockets need a big-time power forward. And I don't know if Kevin Love is going to go to free agency. Apparently he's not. Apparently he's staying with Cleveland, but wouldn't Paul Millsap work beautifully with Houston? Defender. He could play off of Harden and Dwight Howard. I'm just saying, you go that route. You put Paul Millsap into that starting lineup. Patrick Beverley's coming back. That's a good team, man. Now, they could go for Goran Dragic, but honestly, I don't think James Harden can play next to a typical point guard. Kind of like how the point guard next to Kobe was Derek Fisher. I'd really like Beverley next to James Harden. But that's the route I think Houston should go. I think they go for the stars. I mean, come on. You want to win a title or what? You got James Harden until 2018. Make a move. Win the championship. You get Paul Millsap, you're putting yourself in a damn good position. Now, the second best team in the division, the Memphis Grizzlies, are also in the perfect position of being pretty good, but not good enough to win a title. Their window is closing quickly, and it's because Zach Randolph, he's about to be 34 next year? This might be it for Memphis. But if it's not, I mean, obviously, re-sign Marc Gasol immediately. You're going to sign him to $17 million. So now you're going to be at $67 million salary. You're looking at a starting lineup of Conley, Lee, Green, Zebo, and Gasol. In a perfect world, Jeff Green will stop being an asshole and start hitting three-pointers. If that happens, that'll really help them out. Besides that, I mean, with $67 million, depending on how much the cap jumps, I think they can probably sign 2 free agents. And the name of the game with these guys is just surrounding Zebo and Gasol with shooters. So we go to free agency. Why not Mo Williams? Because Bino Udrih shot 25% from 3 last year, and he's been up and down his whole career. I think Mo Williams will work. If not him, CJ Watson, another good 3-point shooter. Next, they also need a backup small forward because Vince Carter, who by the way, they signed to 3 years. What the hell? He's not working. Backup small forward. Mike Dunleavy, maybe, if the Bulls decide to let him go. That's possible, I guess. But really, the names that I see are Kyle Singler, who's always been a good shooter, and Jared Dudley as well. I think those are 2 good shooters who fit Memphis' culture. But honestly, like I said, I think the window is closed for the Grizzlies. I think this team may look drastically different starting in a couple seasons. Now, as the Memphis Grizzlies window closes, the Spurs remains open. And holy cap space, these guys have a lot of it. So first, I had to actually bust out the calculator for this. So after they re-signed Tim Duncan for about $10 million, they re-signed Kawhi Leonard to about $17, and after they re-signed Danny Green to about $7, they're going to have to make some moves to get LaMarcus Aldridge because they are getting LaMarcus Aldridge. He will be in a Spurs jersey next year. Basically, you're going to have to trade Tiago Splitter and Boris Diaw, and you're going to have to turn them into smaller salaries. It's possible. I know it sucks because those guys are, an influential part of that culture, but do you want LaMarcus Aldridge or what? You got to move them. Once you clear up the salary, you have LaMarcus Aldridge on your roster, and at that point, starting lineup, Tony Parker, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, Tim Duncan, either at center or coming off the bench. You're done. You're done. You rule the NBA, and it's the Spurs world once again. And now the Dallas Mavericks, whose window constantly closes and opens depending on what day of the week it is. There's a lot of cap space, and really it's dependent on how much Tyson Chandler is willing to re-sign for. Rondo's gone. That's just final. Rondo's gone. Fun fact, I haven't recommended one team sign Rajon Rondo this entire series. I think that tells you something. But anyway, if Tyson Chandler re-signs for about $10 million and Monte Ellis re-signs for about $13 million, then what you could do is you could trade Devin Harris to lower your salary, which is very possible in the offseason because everybody's salary cap's basically at zero. Then you could actually get into the Goran Dragic sweepstakes. Do I think any of this will happen? No. I think Chandler and Monte Ellis is going to have to take about $25 to $26 million to re-sign both of them. And honestly, I recommend they do that because DeAndre Jordan is not happening. And Tyson Chandler, still a really good center. And Monte Ellis, still a really good player. Only 29 years old, even though it feels like he's been in the league for a million years. In a perfect world, Raymond Felton would decline his player option. That's not happening. So unfortunately for Dallas, they're about $4 or $5 million away from being serious contenders for a Goran Dragic or a Brandon Knight. However, you could still trade Devin Harris to lower your salary just a bit. At that point, your best bet is probably like a $10 million player who's not a point guard because the point guard position's really weak outside of Dragic and Knight. Maybe Lou Williams, who's kind of a point guard. Maybe Wesley Matthews if you're willing to wait for him. I don't know. Dallas is in a weird spot. It could go either way. They could have just enough to be a real contender this free agency, or they might fall just short, unless they want to trade like Chandler Parsons and get crazy. Which might not be a bad idea, because Chandler Parsons does not deserve his salary. But whatever. And finally, the New Orleans Pelicans. I've recorded this part about 1,000,000 times because I could never get it right. But I'm confident with what I got now. So, Alvin Gentry, I like that coach moving forward. Anthony Davis is, of course, Anthony Davis. First off, you're going to trade Eric Gordon, okay? You are going to trade him to the Oklahoma City Thunder for one Steven Adams. This move works for both. The Thunder are still looking for a shooting guard because I don't know if they realized it, but Dion Waiters is terrible. And the Pelicans need a center, okay? You can let Ashik walk, and you can take on Steven Adams. Now, their salaries don't match up as of right now, but OKC has a lot, and I mean a lot of guys at a smaller salary. If anything, you could put Dion Waiters into the trade. It would work out. You can make the salaries work. I think that's the move. I think it's Eric Gordon for Steven Adams. The Pelicans get them a center, and the Thunder get them a real shooting guard. So anyway, that's it. This is the finale to how to make every NBA team not suck. I'll probably do some other sort of commentaries on the NBA just sporadically throughout the summer. Maybe I'll think of another series to do. Actually, I just thought of one, so there you go. It's a Funky Diabetic, and I'm out, y'all.